Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our first Q&A for this week, leading up to The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 14, The Other Side. This one we're going to mainly start with focusing on going through some of your guys' reactions and just giving our thoughts after such a crazy episode, which was Episode 13, Bury Me Here. And first off, as usual, spoiler warning, if you guys have not seen episode 13 yet, Bury Me Here, pretty awesome episode. So leading into 14 today, let's do this one where mostly we're going to go through questions and responses from you guys on how you felt about episode 13. I just want to see, because of course we do have two pretty big deaths for the show. Yes, these characters both, like I said, spoiler warning, both Richard and Ben haven't been in the series that long. You know, it's this is the second Ben we have, Benjamin, we've had in the series, and you know, they're more like season characters, season 7 characters, but I feel like it was necessary to have some of those episodes with them in earlier for us to get this episode, which is episode 13, which was fantastic. So Javier Johnson said, Trev, did you feel that those saviors were a little bit scared of Morgan when he went into his clear mode, from peace mode to beast mode? Please make a video about this if you can. So, man, yeah, that was really incredible, and I do feel like the saviors are a bit scared of Morgan right now. I think just about anybody would be after you see him kill Richard with his bare hands. I mean, it's one thing to shoot somebody, but when you beat him to death with your bare hands and to choke the life out of him, that's entirely a different thing. He was giving Richard what Richard wanted, which probably made it a little bit easier for him to do. But man, that was a pretty crazy sequence. And even me as a viewer, I was a little bit scared of Morgan because I was expecting him to kind of stop some way, like beat the crap out of him, but then stop. I wasn't expecting him to actually full on kill Richard 100% in front of them. But it was probably a good thing for the saviors that come to see Ezekiel, because I think it showed some strength, and that you know, the kingdom, the people of the kingdom, they can kill if they have to, and so the saviors may think twice over you know, making such a big fuss out of a melon the next time. Granted, you know, they did kind of say, and they kind of wanted to make sure that Ezekiel and the others understood, but still, actions speak louder than words, and I think that was pretty crazy action for Morgan to do, and definitely would, I think, make the saviors yeah, scared of him, for sure. I would think so. Tabis says, Trev Q&A, do you think we may get a flashback of what actually happened to Dwayne? How Morgan is going crazy again? So for Tabis, I don't think we'll ever see a flashback, because of course they'd have to get the actor, and it's been a long time since he's been in the show. So if they were to get him and do an actual death sequence, it'd be pretty tricky. They'd probably have to recast him, because the actor who was his son is probably too old now. It wouldn't look right. So they'd probably have to recast him. They'd probably have to do that. And I think, you know, a lot of the locations might not be available for filming anymore. I know the Clear building was sold, I think, for a lot of money. So somebody, Walking Dead fan, must have bought that. I saw it on the internet. There was some news articles about them selling that location and stuff. So it would be cool to see a flashback sequence of actually what happened to Dwayne, but you know, this type of episode, if they were going to do it, maybe this episode would be the best one to do it in. And they kind of showed us like little clips, like fast clips, but I don't think we'll ever get a full-on sequence where you have Morgan's wife and Dwayne and the actual, you know, I See Reds sequence. I don't think we'll ever see that, no. Just because it'd be too difficult to do and too time-consuming and everything, and it just, yeah, they probably will never do it. James W. says, Morgan turning the staff into a spear and is getting ready to clear again. Perfect, and bad news for the saviors. I thought I wouldn't care when Benjamin died, but it was actually pretty sad. I care more about him dying than Spencer or Olivia. So, yeah, that might be true in some ways. I care more about him dying than Spencer. I felt bad for Olivia, too, because, of course, Olivia didn't really do anything wrong at all. She was doing her part and everything, and Negan had been mean to her prior, so I kind of felt bad for her more than anybody else. But Benjamin is just a kid, and, you know, whenever you see a kid killed off, obviously that's going to be more you know, emotional, I guess, or impact you more usually than an adult, because of course, you know, just young and, you know, not haven't had that much time yet in the world, and it's kind of sad, right? For sure. DV says, do you think Morgan is safe now due to his 360 turn? So does it affect how safe Morgan is? Do you still think he's going to be getting killed off in the next couple of years? I do still think that they will kill Morgan off eventually. When it's going to be, is it going to be in like 4 or 5 seasons? or 1 or 2. Yeah, I think maybe a year or two. He has had a lot of time. He's come full circle now, and he's gotten back into his badass mode. And I'm thinking maybe another year or two. Maybe next year in All Out War, he'll be killed at some part of that, I'm thinking. But if they don't, hey, after seeing this episode with him, I would be totally happy, because the advantage of having Lenny James, is that you can have one of your best actors in the show, and he can, by himself, especially if he's in his crazy clear mode, I feel like he can carry episodes by himself. Like, sometimes it's hard, like I said in my review, if you have Rick, obviously Andrew Lincoln, he can carry an episode. Daryl's kind of struggled with that a little bit. If you look at some of Daryl's solo episodes he's in, they're not the best episodes like Still and some of the others. It's kind of tricky sometimes, but I do feel like Morgan is one of the best, or Lenny James is one of the best people to carry an episode, and especially when he's in his crazy mode. When he's in his crazy mode, man, I really enjoy seeing him, and so maybe it makes sense to keep him around, to have him as a point of view character, and have him be a character that can really be there if you want to do a bottle episode in a certain location. I think he would aid in that. He would definitely help with that. But again, he's a high-profile actor. He's got a lot of stuff going on, so that's kind of tricky. But Lenny James definitely did an incredible job this episode as Morgan, man. I loved it. And I don't think he's 100% safe just because he's in his crazy kill mode again. But I'm really happy to see him sharpen up the spear. That is really cool. Lee Welker, 83, says, Richard had to go. His nose was really starting to bother me. You don't like his nose? Nice. Some people like Richard, some people hated him. And yeah, I did notice his nose was a little bit disjointed there. I wonder if he's gotten in a fight, broke his nose before. Maybe he has. Usually you can tell if someone's broken their nose in certain spots and things like that. Like, what is it? Is it Owen Wilson? Is that the one who's had his nose broken like a whole bunch of times and he never fixed it? He's in like movies and stuff. And everyone, you've seen this nose, and it's like, what the hell? And then if you look it up, you find out that he probably got his ass kicked a few times. So that's just what it is. David Schwoegl says, I liked Richard, was hoping to have more of him. So, yeah, it's one of those things, like some characters have to die. Sometimes you'd want to see more sequences with them. You'd want to see more time with them. Andrea. But, they have to have some deaths throughout. And I feel like his death is useful because it makes Morgan... It adds to Morgan's character. Morgan, to kill him like that in cold blood and go back into his clear mode again, and to kind of avenge Ben in that way, and just get confused over the Dwayne situation and kind of relapse in the way he did into his clear mode. I feel like it was worth the death of Richard to get Morgan back into that mode. I mean, as you guys see, I spent like $200 on a Morgan figure. I'm really happy to see that I didn't waste my money, because for a while there I was feeling like, oh, maybe I'll sell it or something, or I don't know. It's just kind of sucks when he's in the peaceful mode, because it just doesn't make sense for that world. It's just not, it doesn't make sense 100%. You can be peaceful and all that, and that's great, but you can't do it 100%, especially with a group like Negan and the Saviors. It's just not going to work, as Ezekiel is seeing now, because things are going to happen when problems arise. You're going to get the short end of the stick, and your people are going to die at the mercy of the Saviors, whatever they want to do. They have all the power, they have all the leverage. So, yeah. But, I understand. Richard was a really cool character, and I did like to see him in the show, and I thought he'd be cool to see in All Out War. But hey, you know what? His death was used well for Morgan to get a pretty sweet transformation, I want to say. MB8577 says, yes, welcome back, Crazy Morgan. Fun fact, only Rick, Carl, and Machonne have even seen Crazy Morgan. The look on Carol's face when she saw Morgan is like, holy shit. She was holding her pistol and all. So that's really cool, and that's a nice call out, because I hadn't realized that that's true, that only certain characters have seen Morgan in his clear, crazy state. Rick being one of them, of course, like you said, Carl and Machonne being the others who were with him. But everybody else pretty much has not seen him. Even Daryl would probably think like this Morgan guy, oh, he's so nice and all this stuff. And I really like this episode. This was a really good episode. I really liked it, man. Chris Shelton says, hey, Trev, Q&A. Is it just me, or does Jadis's name seem to closely resemble the infamous Judas from the Bible, the disciple who betrayed Jesus? Meaning, do you think that the Junkyard group may turn on Team Alexandria? So if they betray Team Alexandria, man, that would be insane. That would be really, really crazy, because they are so strong, and Rick and the others have given them quite a few guns that at this point, if they were to turn on them, I mean, Rick and the others would be like, are they going to still be able to attack? Are they still going to be able to take out the Saviors? And if they join the Saviors, they would probably annihilate the others. So if they were going to turn on Alexandria, I would think that they'll probably just back out of the fight. They probably wouldn't join the Saviors, otherwise Rick and the others have absolutely no chance. So they would probably back out on Rick and the others if that was going to happen. And that could be really bad because Rick's given them a lot of guns now, and they just have so many numbers that would really be detrimental. But with them, with Rick taking the chance with them, they've got a really good shot to take down the Saviors and take down Negan for sure, just because the amount of numbers they have. And now the Kingdom, of course, is going to get involved, and you have the Hilltop there too. So we're starting to get enough now that it makes sense for them to start to attack maybe around the finale or so. Wyatt McCann's this best episode of this half so far, I mean overall. And I agree with you, Wyatt. This is definitely the best episode of this half for sure. It's one of the best episodes of the season, I think. You know, episodes like this are really, really good to get. And it's not just the deaths, but it's the character transformation, you know. Richard's death by itself, if he was just shot by a Savior and then Ben was shot too, it wouldn't be as impactful for us as viewers. But to see Morgan transform, I mean, I definitely like the crazy, clear Morgan a lot more than kind of the peaceful, monk Morgan, which really at first is like, oh, okay, cool, that's kind of cool. And then after a while, it's like, this kind of gets old after a couple seasons. So I'm glad they transformed him back because, damn, it's been season 5. Now we're in season 7. Man, the time really flies. We were due for a Morgan transformation for sure. It was great. Declan, while Raven says, hey, Trev Q&A, do you think Carol was kind of treating Benjamin like Sam? Thanks. Keep up the great work, including your video. So here you go, Declan. I'm including it. So is she kind of treating Benjamin like saying, well, yeah, kind of. She wants to be alone. She doesn't want people to get too close. And she certainly doesn't want those she's going to have to protect and then see them be killed off afterwards. So, but also, as Jack Goldberg said, Carol actually had a hand in killing Ben by telling him to go on the drop. If she had let him learn from her, he'd still be alive. So if she had taken him under her wing and taught her some things about killing zombies and that, he wouldn't have been on the drop. Well, that's true, but that just means someone else probably would have gotten shot and killed. It could have been Richard, or it could have been some of the others. But maybe you're right. Should she feel guilt as a result of that decision not to let him? No, I don't think so. I mean, there's no way she could have known that was going to happen with him. And, you can understand that she doesn't want to take in more after Lizzie, Mika, Sam, of course, Sophia, and just all around. You can't blame her for not wanting to do that, to take Benjamin in because of all the loss she's gone through. Adelson Cabral says, hey Trevor, are you mad as how Richard died? Honestly, I like that character. He was the only one in the kingdom that was about that thug life. So that's apparently that's Richard's that's thug life for Richard. So I get what you're saying. He was kind of a badass, and he was ready to go against the Saviors. And are you mad that he didn't get used in All Out War a little bit more? Yeah, he reminded me a lot of the governor, the way he's like playing tricks and stuff. He also looks like David Morrissey too a little bit. The carts and all that stuff and setting everything up. I am a little bit, but you know what? It's useful. Like it makes sense to do it in order for us to get Badass Morgan back. If we have to have Richard killed to get Badass Morgan back, let's do it. I'm all in 100%. Ryan Rabbit will have the last good one for this one. He says, Morgan calling Ben Dwayne was kind of like a reference to No Way Out in the comics, where Morgan calls Carl Dwayne. Ben was the Carl that Morgan never had. So that's a really great call out from Ryan Rabbit. Really cool. I hadn't thought of that because I haven't read that for a long time. And that is true in the comics. Morgan is more crazy in the comics than he is in the TV series. And he does at one point call Carl Dwayne. He's so crazy. I feel like in the TV series, though, they've done a much better job with showing his breakdown and having Eastman there and having more episodes with it and spend more time with Morgan, and then now have him kind of reintroduce a little bit of that back into his character again when he needs it, tap into that in order to fight the Saviors. So I really like what they've done with Morgan. This episode has really changed things for him, and it gives season 7 something else that's really special in the season, which makes it stand on its own as, a good season. If you don't have episodes like this, season 2, you got the Shane episode. What other seasons do we have character transformation episodes? Season 5, we got Carol with Terminus, where she becomes like super badass and attacks Terminus. So each season we have some really great transformation episodes and things like that, The Grove, and really emotional episodes with some losses in that. This one was the one for season 7, and I really feel like they did a great job with it, and it was a great episode. So I wanted to do this additional Q&A just to go over it with you guys a little bit more, rather than do a topic for episode 14. Just man, really, really awesome episode. I'm kind of blown away by it. It's awesome. We'll add on one more. Shammer on Star says, Morgan is going to clear the Saviors, finally. And you're absolutely right, man. It was so long to see clear Morgan come back. I mean, being season 3 and now season 7. That's crazy, man. It's just the years have gone by so fast. It's like, that was 4 years ago. Was it episode 13? Was that clear? I can't remember exactly. It was somewhere around there. But that's crazy, man, to see like 4 full years and he's full circle. Very, very cool. Write your comments below. Check out my review if you guys missed it, because it is a great episode. Check out my predictions for episode 14. I'll put the videos right here so you can click them to get those. And if you guys like this video, send me another question. Write it in these comments below for tomorrow for another Q&A. Also, you can thumb up this video. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, go on, click that subscribe button. Bottom left, always appreciate it. So for this one, guys, see you in those other videos. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.